Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Schlage B520-735. This is a composite cam for their 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch, and 3/4 length modular style cylinders. The length dictates the type of cam that you use. The cam that you use is dictated by not only the application, what lock are you sticking it into, but also the length as well when it comes to these modular cams. Might look a little bit of an unusual cam in the sense that it might strike you as a little bit larger than standard, and it is. And part of that is because of the application. This is used in ML 2200 series Corbin Russwin master ring deadbolt functions, and master ring is a reference to a technology from 1889, thereabouts. And a master ring is an 1.5 inch diameter cylinder. It's larger than standard, and it features a cylinder plug within a master sleeve, a master ring, and all of that fits into the shell of the mortise cylinder, or the rim cylinder for that matter. And that plug fits into the sleeve. That creates a shear line here and here. That technology, that's 130 years old, allows you to insulate the change key bittings from the master key bittings, and that has a substantial impact on the integrity of the cylinder when it comes to attack via the Dayton method, and just other key picking attempts, in the sense of key picking is probably going to be the wrong word. Picking the cylinder itself, I've been told that it's probably slightly more difficult to pick the cylinder because you've got two shear lines in play here, and I would expect it to be noticeably more difficult in the hands of someone reasonably gifted at picking locks, because you've got those two shear lines. Anyway, I'll show you a little bit more about the master ring when we switch to the screen view. This is also used on old Russwin cast iron residential locks, as well as all best 40 and 30H deadbolt functions. Okay, that's what this is. Let's take some basic dimensional properties of the item, just to put it into context. Their Y and X dimensions we're going to check. The Y dimension, they've got it at 0.242. No, sorry, the Y dimension is about 0.757. My caliper tells me that that is accurate, basically accurate. And then the X dimension, they've got it 0.242. My caliper is telling me 0.239. And my caliper is slightly off. Yeah, let's try that again. Yeah, about 2.239. Anyway, that's what that is. So this is going to attach to the back side of your modular cylinder. Let's switch to the screen view, and we'll take a closer look at this item and its related associated sister products. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, here's the item that we are looking at. B series, I don't really understand what that means. Their cams do begin with the letter B, but I wouldn't call it a B series because they do have a deadbolt that's a B series. It's a modular type for these lengths, as I mentioned, and here's the application. I won't read that again. There's a graphic showing those dimensional properties, and let's click on the list of cams for Schlage mortise cylinders, and here it is. This is a static page showing all of that, and we're doing the B520-735, and it's right here. So this row is the ML 2200 master ring deadbolt functions and everything else that we mentioned. The cam type, pardon me, back up. The cylinder that you're using will dictate which of the 5 variants you'll use. Modular cylinder for these lengths, modular cylinder for these lengths. Clearly going to be slightly different in the casting of it somehow. Classic, conventional non-IC, just a good old-fashioned mortise cylinder. Interchangeable core. And then you've got their security material, interchangeable. Non-IC is what this is going to be. And I believe this is going to be the same for There's security as well. Primus, Everest, SL, etc. Now we have this same table converted into something a little more interactive than it is here. The point being is you can click on this and then go right to that page. There is a cam that we've added down here that we have found. The Falcon MA has a MA381 function, and that takes an odd cam all by itself down here. Now there's a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page, and from here we can pull up not only all of the Schlage products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. And on this page are countless encyclopedic documents. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Lots of encyclopedic documents are here, such as the Everest service manual, a Primus service manual, templates, installation instructions, parts manuals. The service manual is here. That's very handy. It's an exploded drawing of everything that Schlage manufactures for the most part. Also, key blanks and cylinders and key blanks quick reference guide, very handy as well. This is basically the cheat sheet, so to speak, I use when I continue to forget the part number of the key blank that I want to order. So that's what I use this for. They also have some cams here as well. Now, I had mentioned I would show you a little bit more about the master ring if you happen to be interested in that. Search for Corbin in our site, and then any item that you'll click on more from Corbin Russwin. Their catalog will be here as well. Their cylinder manual will be here, and that will go over everything that is Corbin Russwin cylinder related, including master ring. And then, of course, a article that I did on mastering along with a companion video is here as well. Okay, let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. In conclusion, you'll need a cam depending on the mortise cylinder that you're working on. There are lots of cams available from Schlage, and they're not only for their different platforms of cylinders, as I had said earlier, modular, classic, security, interchangeable core. But what's happened in the last few decades is you can basically install anyone's cylinder into anyone else's lock and use anyone's lock and toss any keying system you want into it. And everyone will have a standard mortise cylinder, 1 in 5/32, or in this case, possibly 1.5" master ring, which is it's very unusual in terms of the average locksmith doesn't bump into master ring from what I can tell. But then there are the other people who deal with it every day because it's in a hospital, it's in a university, and it's everywhere. And the heyday of mastering would have been, well, early 20th century, for sure, all the way up to the mid-20th century, for sure, mastering was out there. And a lot of the reason for that is because the science of biddings, the science of key numbers, was an evolving science from the 19th century all the way up to today, meaning you've got a whole mess of locks to key, and you're going to master key them, and it's a hospital, or it's a project with 12,000 doors, or it's a project with 28 doors. And how those biddings are created is an evolving science. There's a method of progression called rotating constant that it is known that a major manufacturer was using rotating constant. And it's a very scientifically safe way, when done correctly, to make sure that you don't have key interchange, which is apartment 4 doesn't work in apartment 7. Their keys don't interchange with each other where they shouldn't go. And master ring was developed because it helps all but not thoroughly eliminate key interchange, because if you have master pins at either of those shear lines, you will have interchange, whether or not you realize it or whether or not it's a problem. But because you split those shear lines, the amount of key interchange falls by orders of magnitude, is the bottom line. in today's day and age, you're going to have that hospital that was built in 1950 and it's full of mastering. Well, you know, however it happened, they've gone to a Schlage system for whatever reason. The salesman got on there and showed them all Schlage material and said, "Get this Corbin out of here." Well, we've got these locks. Well, we can handle that. Forgive me. We can handle that. We can use, if it's an 1.5 inch diameter prep in the lock case for the master ring, there is a conversion threaded sleeve that can work in there as well. But Medico, Yale, Corbin, Arrow, everybody makes locks and cylinders that can really cross-pollinate very well, and this is just an example of that. You're putting a Schlage cylinder that's going to be modular, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, 1.75 into something it wasn't meant to go in. And I think the impetus for that is Schlage might say, well, I know that we can't sell you all these locks. We'd really love to sell you 1,000 locks. But you know what? We'll take the cylinder order if we can't get the whole lock order. You know, and so that allows the owner, the decision maker, to say, I want to use locks by company A and I want to use cylinders and keys by company B. That allows that to happen. And this is an example of that. Anyway, I'm very grateful to Schlage's, many aspects of Schlage, but in particular their technical support. There's a gal there who is exceptional in terms of her expertise and her just responsiveness. To her, for that, I say thank you. Any questions on the Schlage B520-735 cam or any other Schlage product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.